The Orange Bowl in Miami. The weather has been inclement for much of the early evening. It is expected to come down a little bit harder as we brace for Gold Cup 2007. Alongside Shep Messing, I'm Steve Cangelosi, and welcome to our coverage of the Gold Cup. 6 different venues across the United States, including the Orange Bowl in Miami, to get things kicked off. Of course, this is the 9th Gold Cup championship, the first time since 1996 that all teams from Concacaf make up the field, and that is really what a true regional championship is, Shep Messing.
Steve Cangelosi, I think that's one of the greatest aspects of this Gold Cup. I think it enhances the credibility of CONCACAF. These teams are here to compete. They're here to win a trophy. There are some favorites. There are some underdogs. I'm really excited about this tournament.
Well, when you talk about favorites, you talk about the teams that for the most part have dominated the Gold Cup through its history. Mexico and the United States. Now, the United States gets underway on Thursday. Mexico, which has won this tournament 4 times, opens up on Friday. That's not to say we don't have a doubleheader that we could really sink our teeth into this evening. We're going to start off this evening with Costa Rica taking on Canada. The Canadians, the only national team to break the U.S.-Mexico hex over the years. They won this tournament in 2000. To go all the way this time, Shep Messing, that's taking some optimistic thinking, though.
Well, that's what I love about this Gold Cup tournament. Canada happens, Steve, to be one of the teams, I think, that can pull off a shocker. Everybody has their eyes pointed on a USA-Mexico final. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Canada is one of the teams in the tournament. They have firepower up front. They're solid in the back. And I think they could pull off a surprise.
And so, too, can Costa Rica. A Central American team has never won this tournament. Their head coach, Hernan Medford, said, when asked whether or not they can stand tall with the trophy 3 weeks from now, and I quote, "I think we can do it." This is a team that had a very disappointing World Cup back in 2006, failed to win a game in group play. They feel right now they have the right stuff to perhaps stand tall a few weeks from now, though.
Well, I think they're a dangerous team, Steve, Costa Rica, but they're a team in transition. They no longer have their mainstay, Paulo Wanchope. They do have Fonseca. They have a steady group of players behind him, Centeno, that can get him the ball.
Before Haiti and Guadeloupe later on this evening, it is Canada and Costa Rica to kick off Gold Cup 2007. The Orange Bowl in Miami is where it all begins. We're back with lineups and the opening kick in just a moment.
At the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, we test athletes in the lab. Because we know they'll be tested on the field. Gatorade, the most tested sports drink on the planet.
Costa Rica and Canada met in the Gold Cup opener twice before, in 2003 and 2005. Canada won 1-0 in Foxborough back in 2003. The Ticos prevailed by the same score 2 years later when the venue was Seattle. We're expecting rain at several points this evening here at the Orange Bowl in Miami as soccer fans around the region pack the place tonight for Costa Rica and Canada. South Florida, a perfect venue for 3 of the 4 teams that we're going to witness tonight, including Costa Rica and Haiti especially, which will cap the doubleheader later on this evening against Guadeloupe. Earlier we spoke about the Canadians, the only team other than Mexico and the United States to win the Gold Cup. As a matter of fact, it is their only major international trophy in over 100 years of soccer. One man fans in the United States are very familiar with that we'll get a look at is Dwayne De Rosario, MVP of Major League Soccer. He stood tall as a champion with the Houston Dynamo back in the fall. There he is, number 14, and we get a look at handshakes to start things off as Jack Warner welcomes the teams on both sides. And for Canada, Stephen Hart puts out this starting 11, and Shep Messing, up until yesterday, a surprise choice in goal in Patrick Onstead.
Yeah, Steve, we have a shock right from the beginning. Pat Onstead recently added to the squad, and he is getting the starting nod over Sutton. I think that's the right move, by the way. Onstead plays in Major League Soccer for the Houston Dynamo. I think a key player to watch also, the captain, Paul Stalteri plays for Tottenham. He's a dynamite player in the back.
Costa Rica in the pomp and circumstance moments before this game gets underway. They'll go with a World Cup veteran, 36-year-old keeper Jose Francisco Porras, number 18 in goal. Walter Centeno is a playmaker, number 10, but the man who has been the meal ticket offensively for this team through the years, number 7, Rolando Fonseca.
Well, you're right about Fonseca. He's got 100 caps coming into the tournament. He's got 47 goals, and we're underway.
We got the signal from Enrico Wingard from Suriname, the referee for tonight's match. The Canadians, as we mentioned, in white, moving from right to left on your screen. Costa Rica, red jersey, blue shorts with white trimming. Stalteri, the team captain, plays it. He'll get the start this evening at right back. And fighting for the touch in the midfield, we saw number 8, Rodolfo Rodriguez, one of the few out there with no hair on head. He has a lot of the ball, though, and he makes things happen, their engine in the midfield. Costa Rica plays this deep down the left side of the field, and Onstead, age 39, with his first touch of the ball this evening. Robert Giacomi is the backup goalkeeper tonight, number 23, and one man we should get a look at later on today, number 10, defender Ali Gerba, who scored a big goal for Canada in their final tune-up before this match, a 2-2 draw versus Venezuela just a few days ago. Gabriel Badilla, number 17, the 22-year-old defender, plays it on the back line. Costa Rica, for the most part, Shep, and this is no surprise, comes out playing a 3-5-2.
Yeah, they want to pack the midfield. They want to get forward. They're confident with 3 at the back. Trying to dump this ball over.
Cross weakly into the box made by number 19, Saborio. That was going nowhere, but it does force our first throw-in and our first significant stoppage in play. On the back line, this is Jervis Drummond, part of that 2006 World Cup team for Costa Rica, one that failed to win a game in the tournament in Germany. One of its best showings was actually a 4-2 loss to the host nation in the final game that they played in group play. They arrived home and they were greeted coldly by the faithful in Costa Rica. Over the top we go. On the back line for Canada, and getting back to defend nicely, Richard Hastings as Onstead takes control.
Yeah, Steve, the team's going to feel each other out. They don't want to make a big mistake early, settle into it. I like this game because it's really one of contrasting styles. Get a look at Medford, the coach for Costa Rica. They are very sound technically on the ball, not as physical as Canada, and it's which team can really dictate the pace and tempo of the game.
Many people feel that Medford is the perfect choice for this Costa Rican team, and he's got some pedigree with the Costa Rican national team. He was part of that group back in 1990 that played in Italy. De Guzman with a soft shot on goal, and that's taken by Jose Francisco Porras. Keep an eye on Julian De Guzman, number 6 for Canada.
Yeah, we've talked about a couple of players that have been great abroad. De Guzman, one of them, plays in La Liga, plays for Deportivo. So some individual talent on this Canadian team that I think is going to work hard and try and get the ball to their difference makers like De Rosario.
Played in several of the top leagues in Europe. You talk about Spain, also a former player for Hannover 96 in the German Bundesliga. On the right side, Canadians play it, and they hold in the midfield, playing it for Atiba Hutchinson, who lays it off, and now Canada slows the attack and plays this all the way to the back line. Opening moments here, Canada and Costa Rica starting off Gold Cup 2007. For the Canadians in the midfield, Hutchinson on the ball, plays this across. Martin Nash wears number 16, the brother of NBA superstar Steve Nash. This one played into the edge of the box. It's cleared out by Costa Rica. We'll get a throw in from the far side of the field.
And both teams, Steve, want to try and play through the men that they want to have the ball. For Costa Rica, when they win it, they want to find number 10, Centeno. He is really their schemer in the midfield, their playmaker. He'll cut to the inside. He'll be the guy looking to serve up Fonseca.
And a man who very often just makes the game look easy at the age of 32. Classic player who lets the ball do the work. He wears number 10. And Costa Rica plays this on the back line. Gabriel Badilla will clear this out over the midfield stripe as the teams continue to feel each other out here in the early going. Rodriguez able to settle things down and start the attack. The 26-year-old midfielder plays it out wide right, and this is Gabriel Badilla with the ball on the back line. Plays this into the midfield for Michael Berantes, who wears number 11. Rodriguez back for Badilla. The Costa Rican team comes in the 52nd ranked national team in the world. It has qualified for the last 2 World Cup competitions, but again, a very unpleasant time in Germany 1 year ago. Now they started up with Centeno. Cross into the box, headed towards goal, and Onstad has to go all the way down to make the stop. That was number 19, Saborio, with the attempted finish.
Yeah, this is the beauty and the grace of Centeno. That's an absolutely perfect ball. Bending into the box with his right foot. That's the kind of goal-scoring opportunities he will try to create.
Again, 11 players from the World Cup 1 year ago, part of this Costa Rican team. Good and bad, because as we mentioned, that team did not fare very well. De Rosario, number 14, is a player Canada will like to get more involved. This is de Guzman with a nice little cut. Crosses, looking to go across for Robert Friend, playing as a lone striker so far up top. Now he lays it off. Canada on the move. Shot just wide of goal as Parros dives, and he sees that go far post. That was Stalteri stepping up for Canada.
Yeah, you talk about big players in a tournament. Stalteri's one of them. That's the Canadian who whistles that shot wide of the far post. He starred in Germany in the Bundesliga for Werder Bremen, now in a premiership with Tottenham. That's the kind of solid veteran leadership they need at the back.
Canadian who spent some significant time in the United States as well as other places as well. He attended Clemson University, and a very important player, a man legitimately playing at a very high level in the English Premiership. Tottenham Hotspur since 2005, so it's been a good 3-year stint so far for Stalteri in England. This is de Guzman on the ball, who lays this off. Hutchinson marking forward now for Canada. Lays this off left side. De Rosario, his first quality touch as he moves toward the box. De Rosario able to put one towards the top of the box. Robert Friend tries to chase that down as this comes all the way back towards the midfield stripe. Played by Stalteri now, who controls for Canada. Tries to put this over the top, looking for Friend at the top of the 18-yard box, but that's cleared away. And Costa Rica now tries to make something counter. Centeno. They love him on the ball. Plays this right up the gut. Onstad out, and he makes a stop. Highway robbery as Pat Onstad is tested for the first time this evening.
We talked, Steve, about Centeno. That is the difference he can make in the game. Absolutely beautiful ball in the box. Onstad with a big first save of the game.
We'll get back to that in a moment. Saborio on the attack, nearly giving Costa Rica the lead. Back the other way. This is Hutchinson for Canada. Plays this into the box. Tough to hook up on that one. Victor Cordero watches this go over the goal line, and we'll have possession for Costa Rica. A goal kick is coming up. What do you see from these teams in the early going so far?
Well, I like it, Steve. Again, the contrasting style. When Canada wins the ball, they try to attack in numbers. There's the big Onstad save. That's a beautiful play by Onstad, coming out, cutting down the angle, but it was all the playmaking of Centeno. Sent perfect ball in. Saborio couldn't finish.
And Saborio, a man who does just that. He is the 3rd leading scorer right now in the Swiss League. We saw the look of disappointment as we walked away after that chance. Here's Stalteri now, who controls on the far side for Canada. Canadians on the move. Little backheel pass, top of the box by Friend, trying to make something happen with a little creativity, but this comes all the way back, and it's controlled by Canada on the back line. Top of the box. Hutchinson looking to cross. This is Friend. Oh, scissor kick on goal. Saved by Parros. Golden opportunity for Canada. Jose Francisco Parros with the stop.
This is a great start to the game. A shot at one end of the field, and now the best save of the game so far. Porras gets to this ball, dives to his right, sticks out his right hand, and doesn't give up a rebound. Friend, wow, trying to get a little more velocity on it, but they spread the defense, got the shot they wanted.
That was Jervis Drummond in midair, the defender for Costa Rica, who made no contact at all. Friend with the golden opportunity, but indeed goes by the wayside. So the goalkeeper, Jose Francisco Porras, with a big stop in the early going. They call him Il Conde, the Count, and the Count answers the call in this first half of play. Canada on the approach one more time. Patrice Bernier tried to make something happen as he squared the ball. Canada still on the move. De Guzman with a drive that just goes wide. Closing stages of the first half, and Julian de Guzman nearly make something happen for the Canadians. 1 minute of added time coming up now in this first half.
Well, it's been a very good first half. Another quality opportunity for Canada. There's the touch with the right foot. De Guzman creates a little bit of space and then whips that ball wide to the far post.
One of the things Canada will likely try to do in the second half, get more of de Guzman on the ball. He's been terrific with it so far. Chance for Costa Rica, and that was Fonseca rushing up, the all-time leading scorer for Costa Rica, but there to snuff out the opportunity is Pat Onstad, who again, just 48 hours ago, had no idea he would get the call for Canada. An injury to Josh Wagonar, out with a back injury suffered in that game versus Venezuela, means that Pat Onstad gets the call, and so far so good for the veteran of MLS. 12 shutouts in the 2005 season for Onstad when he played with the San Jose Earthquakes that year. Closing seconds, perhaps, of this first half, and indeed we get the signal. That will do it. Costa Rica and Canada. No score here at the Orange Bowl in Miami. An important first decision for each of these teams, and 45-plus minutes to make the best of it. We're back in just a few moments.
Work like a pro. Play like a pro. Tackle tough jobs. Dominate the game. Destroy the competition. Go professional. Choose Makita.
So one half of one game in the books at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Welcome back to our coverage of Gold Cup 2007 alongside Shep Messing. I'm Steve Cangelosi. No score just yet here in this first game of group play, but a Canadian team that failed to win a game in group play 2 years ago in this tournament, Shep Messing, perhaps in this first 45-minute span proves, yes, it can play with a World Cup team like Costa Rica.
Steve, you're absolutely right. I think the attitude with which Canada took the field, you could tell they're brimming with confidence. They were not afraid to get forward, not afraid to spread the field. They didn't play conservatively, so they definitely think they can play.
All right, so no scoring, no cards, yellow or red. That is not to say we did not have some very anxious moments in the first half.
Highlights in the first half. Stalteri cracks it with the left foot. Just skims the far post. Costa Rica had chances as well. Their playmaker, Centeno, gets it into the box. Samario and Onstad cuts down the angle to make the save. Maybe the best opportunity. Hutchinson to Friend with the scissor kick, and he gets it with the right foot. Porras with a great save.
So the athleticism of Robert Friend, who plays for Dutch club Heerenveen, on display in that riveting moment that we saw in the first half. But as the Canadian team gets set to come out to start the second half, Shep Messing, I think one topic of conversation in the locker room for Coach Stephen Hart, how do we get the two-time MVP finalist, Dwayne DiRosario, a little bit more involved in this game?
Steve, you sound like a coach because you're absolutely right. De Rosario has the ability for Canada to take the ball, run at defenders, break down the defense. He was pretty invisible in the first half. Now, for Costa Rica, they could say the same thing for their big-time goal scorer. They need to find a way to get Fonseca the ball in better, dangerous spots.
And perhaps these teams strategize in another way as well. When we look at Group A, these two teams that we're looking at in this first game, and then later on, the nightcap here, it'll be Guadeloupe, a team that is not even recognized by FIFA. We'll get more into that a little bit later on in the evening. And Haiti, which comes in a very hot team. But you look at Costa Rica and Canada, and it can be argued, Shep, these are the two teams we expect to advance out of Group A into the knockout phase. So how does that play into a tie game at halftime for these two coaches now?
Yeah, Steve, great point. That's the intricacies of group play. The goal is to get out of the group. So at a certain point, these two teams pretty even in the first half. I would anticipate in the second half, if there's not a goal scored, they will both start thinking, you know what, let's not gamble, let's not venture forward, let's get out of here with a point. Our goal to advance out of group play.
And the format for Gold Cup 2007, 12 teams in. The top two teams in each group get the automatic bid to the knockout phase, as well as the best third-place teams that exist. We'll have more coming up. Gold Cup 2007. The second half is set to get underway. For Stephen Hart, the Canadian coach, this is the one major tournament that he will be the head coach for Team Canada for quite some time. Dale Mitchell takes over the Canadian squad at the conclusion of the Under-20 World Cup, and then Hart becomes Mitchell's assistant. So this is something where he can certainly make his claim to being perhaps a future head coach for the Canadian national team. With Shep Messing, I'm Steve Cangelosi. We're back at the Orange Bowl with the second half in just a few moments.
At the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, we test athletes in the lab. Because we know they'll be tested on the field. Gatorade, the most tested sports drink on the planet.
Awaiting the signal to start the half from Enrique Wingard from Suriname. No score as we start half number 2. Costa Rica and Canada each looking for the successful start to Gold Cup 2007. No changes to start the second half as we begin. Team Canada in white, now moving from left to right on your screen, and the Costa Rican team looking for the strong start to a second half in which it had to be surprised about the balance that Canada showed in the opening 45 minutes. The Canadians control along the center line and push forward. De Rosario, number 14, looking to make more of a mark in this game. Stalteri is now on the ball, and he plays this back. Hainaut plays it across. De Rosario, switching sides, plays this into open space. Now left side. Here come the Canadians. Cross, and nobody home as that was lifted very high and wide of goal as De Rosario made his way across.
Yeah, Steve, I'm surprised that Costa Rica is really sitting so deep in their own end of the field. One of the disadvantages of playing 3 at the back is if you have a team that can run at you, that can spread the field, you could find those seams. Costa Rica, for me, as we see the rain starting to come down, they're better when they're on the ball and they're getting forward.
Rodriguez plays this across, and now Costa Rica pushes forward as Badia goes over the top into the box, looking for the long ball over the top to Fonseca, but Onstead was there to play it on a bounce. We talked about it at halftime. Rolando Fonseca, Costa Rica's all-time leading goal scorer, and in this game, suiting up for his national team on his 33rd birthday. 100 caps in the book for that man. His next goal will be the 48th of his international career.
Well, talking about Fonseca, he's got to get used to life without his sidekick, Paulo Wanchope. Wanchope opened up so much space for Fonseca to get his goals. No longer has that strike partner.
Here come the Canadians down the left side, back to defend, and doing so nicely is Jervis Drummond to take it away from an overlapping Ante Jazic. And he plays this across to his defensive partner, Victor Cordero, who plays this deep out into the midfield. It remains a scoreless game. 3 huge points at stake. They all are in group play in the Gold Cup. Chasing this one down, Leonardo Gonzalez. We figure to see subs at some point in this match for Costa Rica. We'll see how they play it. Among those available on the bench, Wendell Gabriel, a very exciting 22-year-old striker who figures to get a chance at some point in this match. Throw-in coming up from the near side of the field, and this is Stalteri who tosses in for Canada. Gets this back as Hutchinson played it off the chest, and now Canadians control along the back line as Hastings plays this across, and now the Canadians push it on the far side. This is De Rosario who plays the ball. Squares one in front. Canadians try to string together passes in tight spaces, and now they get the benefit of a foul call that goes against Jervis Drummond, and that was Hutchinson right at the top of the 18-yard box, able to make that happen.
Well, here's the entry pass, and there is the foul to the back. One of the best ways to break up a stalemate is get yourself a good set piece, top of the box, see what you can do with it. When you can't get a goal out of the flow of play, Steve, sometimes this is the best thing to look for.
Let's see how they play the free kick. It is Dwayne De Rosario who seems poised to take it the wall forms in front of the goalkeeper, Jose Francisco Porras, who made a terrific save on Rob Friend in the first half. It might be the biggest of the game. Will he have to come up big here? De Rosario driving off woodwork. Dwayne De Rosario within inches of giving Canada the lead in this game.
Oh, he's looking up at the sky, the little touch. De Rosario with the right foot. Watch this, the instep drive hits an absolute rocket off the upper 90. That's a great strike by De Rosario, but not good enough.
3 goals in Major League Soccer this year in the United States, playing for the Houston Dynamo, and De Rosario nearly with a big one. Again, he did score late in the friendly versus Venezuela in the last game that Canada had in preparation for this Gold Cup. Getting a look at Michael Barrantes there. Pat Onstead will take advantage of the misplay there and line up the goal kick coming up for Team Canada. One thing that Costa Rica has going for it, perhaps players who know each other not from this national team only, but from Deportivo Saprissa, that's the top club team in Costa Rica. There are 9 players on this Costa Rican roster represented from that club team. So they are around each other, training with each other year-round, and perhaps that plays to some advantage for the Costa Rican team. The Canadians now control on the near side of the field. Cleaned up there by Costa Rica, and now they get the throw-in from the near side of the field.
Yeah, Steve, you make a good point about those players for Costa Rica to play for the same club. That usually helps, especially on the attacking side of the ball. Defenders can adjust. Chemistry you need when you get into the attacking third. That sometimes helps when you have your teammates from your club.
And we see that with nations like Guatemala as well, where so many of the national team players play for a club like Municipal, so they have that advantage. What do you think of the hold right there? That's number 5, Andrew Hainaut.
Well, Fonseca is the player that has to be marked. I haven't seen enough of the midfield players for Costa Rica supplement the attack.
Canadians play this. Goes into the corner. Team Canada fights for it. Flag went up, as you see, on the near side for the stoppage in play, and it continues to be a frustrating experience, at least offensively, for both of these teams. Nothing to show for it, and that man with perhaps the most splendid opportunity of the match so far, Rob Friend, but he was denied on a big save by Parros. It remains scoreless here at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Substitution coming up. Rodriguez is out. Randall Azofifa has come on now for Costa Rica to step on the field. The 22-year-old midfielder, and again, part of the 2006 World Cup team. 11 players on this Costa Rican roster were part of that team 1 year ago. Rodriguez had much of the ball in this match, but nothing to show for it so far. Here's a chance at the edge of the box, and we're going to get a card called as Fonseca went down. That's Martin Nash with a couple of words for the officiating staff here. Yellow card is issued right there in that exchange, and it goes against Hainaut, number 5.
Let's look. Ball over the top. Hainaut's marking up. There's the ball knotted down. Here's the tackle. There's the foul. I think that's a pretty harsh yellow card myself, Steve. Guess it was considered a tactical foul, but I don't think it was. I think really it was just a clumsy challenge, but more important than the card, we saw a free kick at one end of the field. Now the Ticos, Costa Rica, they'll have a similar opportunity.
And this is in dangerous territory right here as Pat Onstead sets the wall in front. We see 5 white jerseys lined up consecutively. A look at number 12, Gonzalez. And Jervis Drummond trying to make things happen for Costa Rica in the middle of that wall. A cluster of 5 players, Shep, are over this free kick. Let's see how they play it.
Yeah, it's so close to the penalty box that usually this set piece requires a touch to put the wall out of position, and then you drill it low, try and get a deflection.
Badia is there. Centeno is there. Azofifa, who came on as a second-half sub. Driven into the wall, deflected in front, stepped up. Badia with a drive and another block. Golden opportunities for Costa Rica, but they stay on the attack here, and they keep it alive. It's played by Gonzalez. Edge of the box now. Centeno on the ball. He drives, curling kick, goal! Walter Centeno, the World Cup veteran, stakes Costa Rica to the 1-0 advantage. It developed slowly, all because of a set piece, and Costa Rica stayed with the attack. Their persistence pays off big time.
You have got to be kidding me. I didn't like the way Costa Rica took that initial free kick from Fonseca, but look at Santana. We highlighted him, talked about him at the top of the game. You can't do it any better than that. Inside of the right foot, bends it to the far post, past the diving Pat Onstad.
For Walter Centeno, the 32-year-old midfielder, known more for his playmaking ability, a huge goal for his national team, and Costa Rica now with a chance to play with the lead, something we have not been able to say for either club. Right back for the Canadians, they play this at the top of the box. Shot, score! We are still in the same minute of play, the 55th. And Julian de Guzman with the quick strike for the Canadians. The celebration had not even ceased yet for Costa Rica.
I'll tell you what, Steve Cangelosi, these two teams came to play. An inordinate amount of goals scored within a minute or two of having one scored against you. A little bit of a letdown by Costa Rica. De Guzman, what a goal by him.
You question whether or not, after the nice celebration by the Costa Ricans, they were even ready for this exchange, Shep.
Well, coaches talk to their players all the time, Steve. Most dangerous time in a game, when you've just scored a goal or in the waning moments of a half, you lose focus. But De Guzman, what a brilliant goal to get Canada even.
He has played against the likes of Ronaldinho in La Liga with his club team, Deportivo La Corona. And a huge strike to immediately answer back for the Canadians. So right away we are tied at 1, and the situation remains the same. And that man, Stephen Hart, the shot we took on the sideline for Canada, it looked as if he could hardly believe it himself. His team with the huge answer here early in the second half. 1-1 is where we are now in this opening game, not only for Group A, but for all of Gold Cup 2007. Headed forward by Costa Rica, back to Onstad now, who played that forward, and we get a stoppage in play, or at least I thought we did. We're going to stay with it. No whistle did blow, excuse me. We'll get a throw in from the near side of the field as the Canadians now push forward. Toss in for Team Canada. Played forward, and looking to settle that off the chest is Rob Friend, who goes down as the foul is called in that exchange. The 26-year-old striker Friend looking to make something happen as the Canadians answer back with the quick strike. Martin Nash is over the ball now. He plays for the Vancouver Whitecaps of the USL in North America. His more famous basketball dribbling brother. Huge soccer fan, certainly looking on at this one. Lofted into the box and headed away. This is de Guzman now, who looks to push forward. Cleared out by a dashing Victor Cordero, who's able to clear that away for Costa Rica. But Canada now remains on the attack. Canadians still try to dribble through with Hutchinson on the ball, but that's knocked away, and the Costa Ricans now slow things down and look to push forward. A more withdrawn Fonseca came back to control that ball. Costa Rica plays this to the right side. Harold Wallace now pushes forward. Now gets it back as he makes a run on the right side. Can he keep it alive? No. A little too much to ask anybody to do in that situation.
Yeah, I don't think, if you're Costa Rica, we've seen enough of Wallace in this game. He's got the speed, he's got the pace to get wide, take players on. We're going to see the Ticos go to the bench again.
Number 16 is Christian Bolaños, who comes on. Leonardo Gonzalez, who did not have a poor match playing on that left side, is out now as this substitution is made now in this 63rd minute of play. So Hernan Medford now has used 2 of his 3 allotted substitutions, and Canada now forcing the 1-1 draw. See who has the upper hand here as we play on. Long pass across the field, that's off the mark. Looking for Di Rosario, and we see now the weather continues to be a factor here tonight, coming down harder now perhaps than it has at any other point in the match.
Steve, we talked earlier about the possibility that these two, ostensibly the strongest teams in the group, might come out and say, you know what, let's not gamble anything, let's take the point and just think about getting out of the group. But both teams still committing players to going forward.
Stoppage in play. This comes back the other way, and Canada will have possession. There's Nash going up with Saborio, and the challenge for that ball.
Yeah, Saborio gets called for the studs up, high foot, dangerous play.
Nash is one of the more experienced players for this Canada team, I should say, in this situation. He has 33 caps for Team Canada dating all the way back to 1997. Onstead played it forward. Canadians look to control, and this is Nash on the ball as he plays this across, and the Canadians control in the midfield. They push forward. Edge of the box. Nobody there home for Canada, and this is Porras who's able to control, and the long throw out to the right side of the field, and now pushing forward is Costa Rica. They play this wide. Left side. Controlling now. Number 16, Bolaños with his touch. Knocked down. No foul called. Canada pushes forward the other way. Now we get the throw in from the near side of the field, and the referee in tonight's match, Wingard, looking to take control in that situation. Throw in for Canada near the midfield stripe in this 1-1 game. De Guzman plays it back, and we're back underway. Friend with his back to goal. Hutchinson played it across. Top of the box. Sloppy clearance by Costa Rica as Drummond has to just play this across. Bolaños now working on the back line, tries to keep that alive. We'll get a throw in from the near side of the field.
Now, Steve, you talked about the rain sporadically coming down. I think the ball's playing a little bit slower on the field. You have to be very careful playing it out of the back. They fought hard in the game. They've each have a goal. You don't want to give it away by a mistake towards the end.
Fonseca on the ball now. Kickstarts it for Costa Rica and plays this all the way across where Drummond pushes forward now. Barantes on the ball. Marches over the midfield stripe. Looks to play it long in the direction of Bolaños, but that's picked off and played well. Martin Nash on the ball. Lays this off to the left side. Still a 1-1 game. Group play beginning here in Group A. De Rosario now on the ball. Plays this back. Forming the tandem with Nash in the midfield. The Costa Ricans' best showing ever in the Gold Cup was a loss to the United States in the 2002 final. Canada now over the top. Golden opportunity as they were looking to hook up with that man, Rob Friend.
That's a great ball played in with the right foot. Look at Friend. He's onside. He beats Porras to the ball, but has no ability to square his shoulders and knot it down on goal. Well-timed jump, beat the goalkeeper Porras cleanly, but couldn't do anything else with it.
Didn't look like he was very well marked on the play either. He had a chance there, and otherwise seemed an inauspicious try for Canada right there. This is Bolaños now, who controls for Costa Rica. Plays this towards the top of the box, knocked away. Canada forcing the foul at midfield, do they? Yes, they do. Fonseca. Oh, right there was Wingard who let it go. We'll take that back. This is a live ball, and Jervis Drummond plays this for Costa Rica now, deep on the right side. There was no foul called. Marching on for Costa Rica. They try to hook up with Fonseca, number 7. And a corner kick coming up for Costa Rica. We have not seen many of these tonight.
Well, I talked about it before. In an even game, when a goal's out of flow of play difficult, you don't want to give up set pieces, corner kicks.
Lofted high, top of the 6-yard box, cleaned out by Canada, brought down. Looking to control is Centeno, who's able to do so with the head. Now lays it back. Long drive taken by Afafiza. That was blocked in front. Costa Rica stays on it. This one lofted into the box, and a chance right there by Barantes, but that goes wide of goal, over the line, and a goal kick is coming up. Michael Barantes, the 23-year-old midfielder, starting that entire exchange with the free kick or the corner kick for Costa Rica as Onstad lays this down. 1-1 continues to be the score. Canada will go to its bench now, and Kevin Harmsay, the Los Angeles Galaxy midfielder, is on. Martin Nash now is done in this 68th minute of play. And Harmsay, the 22-year-old who earned a contract in MLS just on a tryout with the LA Galaxy, is getting his shot here with his respective national team now. controlled by the Canadians now. Little one-touch pushing forward. This is de Guzman on the ball. Top of the box, Julian de Guzman. Little stutter step. Top, lofts one. Goal! De Guzman out of nowhere puts this home and strikes Canada to a 2-1 lead. The star of the Spanish Primera is the man who makes the first major impact in Gold Cup 2007.
Steve, this Canadian team is showing everybody they're here to play. De Guzman cuts it back to the left foot, keeps going top of the box, and then a cultured little left foot. Watch this. He doesn't wallop it. He just tucks that ball upper 90, far post. This is unbelievable. What a display by De Guzman. And if you're the Ticos, you've got to be a little bit in shock.
Julian de Guzman, the go-ahead goal in the 68th minute of play. And again, it comes after a stoppage. We saw 2 substitutions in a matter of a minute. And the delay, and Costa Rica perhaps just not ready for it all. And Canada now will play with the lead for the first time this evening. Again, in 2005, they did not win a game in group play. Can they make it happen here in the opener? They're out for more. Atiba Hutchinson on the ball, slows the attack, marked by Jervis Drummond. Now he lays it off. Ante Jazic, little stutter step. Back to Hutchinson now, who takes this left and makes his move. Hutchinson looking for room to cross, still marked by Drummond. Lays it off, controlled by Canada. Top of the box, backheel pass, looking for Friend. Oh, Canada with the right idea, but that pass right behind Robert Friend at the end.
I'll tell you what, I said at the beginning of the game this was contrasting styles. That last play by Canada, they look more like the Ticos. Excellent skill on the ball, one-touch passing. De Rosario back heel. The final pass not there.
Back the other way for Costa Rica and looking for a call. Will they get it? No! Alvaro Saborio looking for the PK, which could potentially tie this game for Costa Rica. Instead, Pat Onstad is on the ball. The referee right there to get his judgment on it.
We have a good one right here, and I agree. That's a great non-call. Lost that possession with his first touch, a little bit of contact. You're never going to get a PK on that.
One of the few times tonight we've seen Saborio use his size as well as his speed. There's de Guzman. He's looking for a hat trick. That would have gone wide of goal anyway, but Jose Francisco Porras is there to settle it down. The most dangerous player on the field is 6 in white, but let's get another look here.
Yeah, again, very difficult to see. I think we had a better angle the first time. I don't think there was contact.
On the ball for Costa Rica. Top of the box. Drive by Fonseca, deflected in front, and that goes wide. Pat Onstad diving. It does set up a corner kick that's coming up as time now becomes an issue for Costa Rica.
Yeah, goalkeepers hate 2 things, rain and deflections. Pat Onstad battles both, and that one skims by the post.
For Costa Rica, the man who checked in, Wendell Gabriel, number 21, as a late substitution, and that is how close Costa Rica comes from tying up this game. Here's the corner kick coming up. Fonseca will take it. The savvy veteran, known more for his scoring, needs to drive this one cleverly into the box, but the delay here is for the veteran Pat Onstad. We'll wait for the signal to get restarted. Fonseca for Costa Rica. Saborio in front. Played by Costa Rica, and we'll do this one more time. Did not get the proper wait time. And once again, Enrique Wingard will get things started. The referee in charge of the match. Cordero fighting for position in front. Going high and headed wide. Saborio using his size to at least get an opportunity, but it goes wide of goal.
Saborio's had a bunch of quality opportunities. This one off the corner kick gets up. Just no way he could get enough velocity to make that dangerous. Little bit of a bump by Stalteri, and that puts him off the ball.
The substitution we perhaps did not show you on the sideline. Wendell Gabriel, number 22, coming in for Badia, number 17. Canada trying to open up with a victory. Now nursing the 2-1 lead here at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Crowd continues to file in tonight in the inclement weather. The Haitian national team will play Guadeloupe right after this. Canada, top of the box, controlling. A drive just goes wide of goal. And looking to extend the advantage was Dwayne De Rosario.
I love the way they're playing. Even that shot, he doesn't hit it full force, just trying to tuck it low to the near post. De Rosario much more active in the second half.
Had that clever touch in the exchange of passes that we saw in one of Canada's best chances that did not result in a goal in this second half. So the Canadians now in the driver's seat. They are up 2-1. Friend fights for position in front. Off the corner kick. Deflected. Still a live ball as it goes back to the corner. Canada plays this to the top of the box. That was poorly played by Patrice Bernier. And now controlling it, Costa Rica. Looks to push over the midfield stripe. Trying to string a pass to Fonseca now. Playing in the center up top, but no can do. Canada now will play the clock perhaps as much as the ball now.
Yeah, for the Ticos, for Costa Rica, Steve, they've got to up their pressure. High pressure the ball, try and create some turnovers.
This is de Guzman, as much of the attack as anybody now, looking to get around Drummond, and he's brought down. Julian de Guzman with both goals in this game thus far for Canada.
He's been the best player on the field for Canada. Look at that. Nutmeg with a back heel gets taken down. That is sheer brilliance.
Is there a little bit of luck involved in that as well? It almost seems like a blind back heel between a defender's leg. Here's the free kick. Wait to answer that, please. Bernier and De Rosario on the ball now for Canada. Here's De Rosario who takes it. Headed out. Shot. Blocked in front. Let's see if de Guzman can stay on it and keep the attack alive. Lofts this one softly towards the box and now deflected away. Controlled still by Canada. De Rosario, will he get it back? De Rosario in the box. Does he have an angle? Towards goal. Wide. And doing the smart thing there is Harold Wallace just to knock this out. And a corner kick is coming up for the Canadians.
I can't believe it, Steve. For Costa Rica, they are back in their heels. They're in disarray. De Rosario has no option but to chip it long. Nobody could connect, but Costa Rica in trouble.
This is not over. What a result for Canada, though, if they hold this 2-1 lead. Corner kick for the Canadians. They don't crowd the box either. Played by Hutchinson now. Atiba Hutchinson back to goal. Has it knocked away, but stays on the ball, and the Canadians stay with it. Hainaut plays it wide. Possession game now for the Canadians. De Guzman plays this over the top. Drummond can't chase it down. Canada's on the ball, and they play this slowly wide to the left side, and De Rosario is the man they want on the ball. Dwayne De Rosario holding now in the corner. Drummond, does he get the throw in? No, they say this is off Canada, and Costa Rica will march forward now. De Guzman on that nutmeg. Opinion, luck involved in that or not?
No, total skill, really, because you need to take the ball, make a move to get the defender to open his legs, and then you put it through.
Terrific stuff from De Guzman, who scored twice. The Canadians now march back. The Maple Leafs, they are nicknamed the champions of this tournament back in the year 2000. They do not come in with a lofty ranking in this tournament. 94th in the last FIFA World Ranking. And they push forward here with Rob Friend on the ball on the near side, coming together with the veteran defender, the 33-year-old Victor Cordero. The pace slows, and Canada certainly doesn't mind this one bit.
Yeah, I expect more from Costa Rica, Steve. They really need to step up the pace of the game. Never really have pressured the ball well when they don't have it. Their passing has not been good when they have the ball.
Friend is down. He's done his yeoman share of the work in this game. Again, started the game as a lone striker up top. It's been that way for much of this match. We'll see whether or not he goes the distance. Rob Friend, the 26-year-old. He has 8 goals in 21 Dutch games this year. Nearly connected on a gorgeous setup by Canada back in the first half. And we're going to get a yellow card, an improper start right there. That's Stalteri who sees yellow.
Yeah, that's for delay of the game, and Stalteri can't believe it.
Canada on the second chance now gets it started. Patrice Bernier Plays this into the corner, and Costa Rica with the takeaway. Quite simply, they need more of the ball than they've had in the last few minutes. Looking to play it up top. Deflected, and a whistle on the play. This will go Canada's way.
That's the reaction to the yellow card for delay of game. See if that one comes back to haunt him.
Paul Stalteri, the 29-year-old midfielder. Tottenham, his club team, former Werder Bremen star. And now we get the substitution. We talked about Friend going the distance as a lone striker up top. That will not happen in this 81st minute. He is out. Ali Gerba is on. He scored in his last national team appearance. The 24-year-old defender and midfielder plays professionally for Gothenburg in Sweden. That chance goes by the wayside, and we now need to see Costa Rica work much more quickly to make something happen here in the waning stages of the match.
Well, the substitution for Canada, just a function of time on the clock. They've got the lead, get some fresh legs in.
Controlled up top by the Canadians, and now they've got numbers, but in no particular rush. Marching forward now. De Guzman on the ball. He'll take a drive that deflects off Drummond, and for Canada, a corner kick as tick-tock goes the clock. The Canadians, as we are in added time. 4 minutes have been posted here. Still an opportunity for Costa Rica. Hutchinson sets in front. They do the right thing and play it short. No chance at goal. De Guzman on the ball, plays it right back into the corner. Little backheel pass. De Guzman on the ball now as the Canadians clearly in a kill the clock mode. Marked by Drummond. Two defenders in the corner now for Costa Rica, but the throw-in is the result. Frustrating thing for a Costa Rican team at this point in the match, and Gerba looks to kill more clock.
What a show, Steve, that Canada is putting on. Costa Rica must be frustrated right now.
But what a victory if the Canadians do hold on right here. It says something. A team in transition, both of these teams as you referenced at the top, but an interim head coach in what is the most important tournament in this region, Concacaf, and to open up with a win against the team many people do regard as the third best team in this region would be quite a feat.
Well, I'm going to say I'm shocked, but I'm not, because I picked Canada as the team I expected to surprise people. And I'll tell you what, in this game against Costa Rica, so far, what a surprise.
We will see Haiti in game number 2 against Guadeloupe. They come in perhaps as the hottest team in CONCACAF. Champions of the Caribbean. Canada owns the game right now. Can they seal the deal? Whistle blows and Costa Rica will come back the other way. A little bit more than a minute remaining. Porras starts things up. Long kick over the midfield stripe. Two Canadian defenders collide. Ball comes down and De Rosario takes this all the way back. That was Hastings. Part of the collision for Canada. Porras, the goalkeeper, the veteran, wants everybody up. Plays it long, looking in the direction of Saborio. Instead, Canada on the ball. Looking to push forward and kill the waning stages of the match. Gerba plays this across. Perhaps as little as half a minute to go. Canada with possession, looking for its first win in group play in a 4-year span in this tournament. They play it wide to the right. Stalteri with the captain's armband is on the ball. Finally given up. Can Costa Rica get one last gasp? Up top, looking to play it long. Off to the races, looking to make it happen, Saborio, but he's cut off at the pass by Onstead.
That's symptomatic of this night for Costa Rica. The pass was there, the run a little bit late, and there it is, Steve.
The final gasp for Costa Rica goes by the wayside there. Match called, and Canada will celebrate the 2-1 victory. Well, not yet. Onstead is grabbing the ball, so apparently All players had that dead body motion where from our vantage point it looked as if it was over. And then the referee Wingert looked at the watch. Perhaps just seconds remaining, though. 4 minutes were posted. Onstad will boot this long into the area of Costa Rica. It is played down. Let's see how much time is left. That will do it. The pump fist by Hutchinson. Canada, no wins in group play 2 years ago, opening with a very impressive come-from-behind 2-1 victory here tonight. At the Orange Bowl in Miami, 2-1 Canada. We're back with a wrap in just a moment.
Work like a pro. Play like a pro. Tackle tough jobs. Dominate the game. Destroy the competition. Go professional. Choose Makita.
Gold Cup 2007 begins in dramatic fashion for Team Canada as they defeat Costa Rica by the final of 2-1. We should mention the one major league in Europe that is still playing games right now is the Spanish Primera. If Canada does advance out of group play in this tournament Gold Cup, Julian de Guzman will miss the final 2 games of the season for Deportivo. And right now, based on one game, there's a good chance he might have to miss some games in Spain.
Well, rightfully so. Nobody would be happier than the Canadian team if de Guzman has to miss those games. I thought the Canadian team put on a great performance.
Well, this was a game that was scoreless at halftime, and then in the final 45 minutes, yes, it took life in a scoring sense. Let's get a look at the second half highlights now.
Second half action, and the first goal of the game is going to go to Costa Rica. Centeno cuts it to the right foot, top of the box, whips it to the far post. That's a beautiful goal past Pat Onstad. But Canada comes right back. De Guzman, the right foot, inside, near post, beats Porras, and he gets another one. This one's the game winner. Inside of the left foot, bends it to the far post. De Guzman with the game winner.
Stirring victory for Canada, 2-1 is your final. On our preview program, Shep Messing thought that there was one team, perhaps an underdog, that can make some noise, and he predicted Team Canada. Did it play out that way for the reasons that you thought in this 2-1 victory over Costa Rica?
Yeah, actually, Steve, it did, because I think the Canadian team has depth, they have talent, they have good goalkeeping, strong in the back, and some players up front. Like De Rosario and de Guzman, who could really make things happen.
Very interesting to see whether or not Pat Onstad, at age 39, can be the player with a big impact in this tournament. Once again, he got the phone call from Stephen Hart just a few days ago due to an injury, and he does get the victory. We hope you've enjoyed our first Gold Cup 2007 game. Once again, Canada, the team that did not get a win in group play 1 year ago, opens 2-1 against Costa Rica. For Shep Messing, I'm Steve Cangelosi. Good day.